There exists a hidden conversation in the fabric of reality itself, a silent dialogue that transcends time and space, connecting all things in ways that defy conventional understanding. This is the realm of quantum entanglement, where particles separated by galaxies remain mysteriously linked, communicating instantaneously as if distance were an illusion. Modern physics has proven this phenomenon exists, yet its full implications for human consciousness remain one of science's best-kept secrets. Imagine two synchronized dancers separated by continents, each mirroring the other's movements perfectly without any visible connection. This is the eerie reality of entangled particles. But here's what will make your skin prickle. If the fundamental building blocks of the universe operate this way, what does that suggest about your own mind? You've experienced these connections before, though you may not have recognized them for what they were. That inexplicable knowing when someone is thinking about you moments before their message appears. The gut feeling that warned you away from danger before your conscious mind could process the threat. The sudden inspiration that arrived precisely when needed, as if the universe itself whispered in your ear. These aren't mere coincidences. They're glimpses behind the curtain of reality, moments when the illusion of separation briefly dissolves. The HeartMath Institute's research reveals that your heart generates an electromagnetic field extending several feet beyond your body, literally broadcasting your emotional state into the surrounding space. This measurable energy field interacts with your environment in ways we're only beginning to understand, suggesting that your consciousness may be far more connected to the world around you than traditional science has acknowledged. What if your thoughts aren't confined to your skull? What if, like entangled particles, your mind participates in a vast, interconnected field of information? The implications are staggering. It would mean that your deepest beliefs and emotions don't just influence your personal experience. They ripple outward, affecting the very fabric of your reality. Ancient spiritual traditions have spoken of this interconnectedness for millennia, calling it by names like the web of life or the field of pure potential. Now, quantum physics is providing the mathematical framework to understand what mystics have always known intuitively. As we explore this forbidden link between quantum phenomena and consciousness, prepare to question everything you thought you knew about the boundaries of your mind and your place in the cosmos. To truly grasp the revolutionary nature of quantum entanglement, let's use an analogy anyone can understand. Picture two magical wristwatches created as a perfect pair. No matter how far apart you separate them, whether across a room or across the universe, they always show precisely the same time. Adjust one and the other instantly adjusts to match, with no signals exchanged, no wires connecting them. This isn't science fiction. It's the proven reality of quantum entanglement, demonstrated conclusively in laboratories worldwide. In 1982, physicist Alan Aspect conducted landmark experiments that shattered classical physics assumptions by proving entangled particles communicate faster than light could travel between them. Einstein famously resisted this idea, calling it spooky action at a distance, because it violated everything his theories predicted about how the universe should work. Now consider this. Your brain contains approximately 86 billion neurons, each capable of forming thousands of synaptic connections. These neural pathways constantly fire in complex patterns, creating your thoughts, emotions, and perceptions. At the quantum level, these processes involve subatomic particles that may very well be entangled with the wider universe. While mainstream science hasn't yet proven human consciousness operates through quantum entanglement, the parallels are too compelling to ignore. Think about those moments when you've known something you couldn't possibly know through normal sensory input, when you've felt a loved one's distress across miles, or accurately predicted an event you had no logical way of foreseeing. These experiences hint at a deeper layer of connection that conventional explanations struggle to account for. The mathematics of quantum theory reveals that at fundamental levels, everything in the universe is interconnected through what physicists call the quantum vacuum or zero-point field. This isn't empty space. It's a seething sea of potential energy from which particles continuously emerge and dissolve. Your consciousness may interact with this field in ways we don't yet fully understand, creating ripples that extend far beyond your physical body. When you have a gut feeling about someone or something, you might actually be perceiving information from this quantum field. Data that doesn't follow the normal rules of time and space. As we continue exploring this forbidden link between quantum physics and consciousness, keep an open mind to the possibility that your thoughts and intentions might influence reality in ways that go far beyond what traditional science has been willing to acknowledge. Until now. Your heart does much more than pump blood. It's a powerful electromagnetic generator that creates a field of energy, extending several feet beyond your physical body. Research from the HeartMath Institute demonstrates that this field carries detailed information about your emotional state, changing its patterns based on whether you're experiencing stress, love, anger, or joy. What's truly fascinating is that this field interacts with your environment and the people around you in measurable ways. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately sensed the tension or happiness present, even before anyone spoke? That's not just imagination. You were likely detecting the subtle electromagnetic signals broadcast by the hearts of those present. This phenomenon suggests we're all constantly exchanging information at levels beneath conscious awareness, connected through these bioelectromagnetic fields. This brings us to neuroplasticity, your brain's remarkable ability to rewire itself based on experience. Imagine your mind as a dense forest with countless possible trails. The thoughts you think most frequently become well-worn paths, easy to travel, but difficult to leave. Negative thought patterns like, "I'm not good enough" or "nothing ever works out for me" become neural superhighways, while positive potentials remain overgrown and inaccessible. The revolutionary discovery is that you're not stuck with the pathways you've already created. Every time you challenge a limiting belief or practice a new way of thinking, you're literally carving fresh trails in your neural forest. Studies show that even simple mindfulness practices can physically thicken areas of the brain associated with focus and emotional regulation in just 8 weeks. Then there's confirmation bias, the mind's tendency to seek out information that confirms what it already believes while ignoring contradictory evidence. It's like wearing glasses that filter reality to match your expectations. If you believe the world is hostile, you'll notice every rude gesture while overlooking kindness. If you're convinced you're unlucky, you'll remember every setback but forget the times things went your way. This automatic filtering shapes your perception of reality in profound ways, often keeping you trapped in self-fulfilling prophecies. The key to breaking free lies in becoming aware of these mental filters and consciously directing your attention toward evidence that supports the reality you want to create. When you change what you focus on, you change what you see, and what you see determines how you experience the world. Dr. Bruce Lipton's groundbreaking work in epigenetics has revolutionized our understanding of how beliefs shape biology. His research reveals that your genes are not fixed blueprints determining your destiny, but rather dynamic potentials that respond to environmental signals, including your thoughts, emotions, and perceptions. Even more startling is his finding that up to 95% of your behavior is controlled by subconscious programs formed primarily before age 7. During these early years, your brain operates primarily in theta wave states, the same frequencies associated with hypnosis, making you extraordinarily receptive to programming from your environment. The beliefs you absorbed during this time became the invisible scripts running your life, often without your conscious awareness. Consider how this plays out in daily life. If you grew up hearing messages like, "Money doesn't grow on trees," or "We can't afford that," these ideas became embedded in your subconscious as absolute truths. As an adult, no matter how much you consciously desire wealth, these early programs may be sabotaging your efforts through self-destructive financial behaviors or an inability to recognize opportunities. Similarly, if you witnessed turbulent relationships in childhood, your subconscious may be recreating those patterns in your adult life, attracting partners who confirm your deepest, but often unconscious, beliefs about love. The most insidious aspect of these programs is that they feel true. When the thought arises that "I'll never be successful," it carries the weight of reality because your subconscious accepts it as fact. The placebo and nocebo effects provide powerful evidence of how beliefs create biological reality. When patients believe they're receiving medicine, even when it's just sugar pills, their bodies often produce real healing responses. Conversely, when people believe something will harm them, they can develop actual symptoms despite no physical cause. These phenomena demonstrate that your subconscious mind can translate beliefs into physiological changes, for better or worse. The implications are profound. By changing your subconscious programming, you're not just altering your mindset. You're potentially reshaping your entire lived experience at fundamental levels. The key lies in accessing these deep programs and rewriting them with more empowering beliefs, a process we'll explore in detail in the following sections. The first step in reprogramming your subconscious is developing awareness of your current mental software. Start paying attention to the automatic thoughts that run through your mind, particularly in stressful situations or when facing challenges. These instant reactions, "I can't do this," "Nothing ever works out for me," "I don't deserve this," are clues to your subconscious programming. Keep a journal for 1 week where you record these thoughts whenever you notice them. The simple act of observing these patterns begins the process of loosening their grip, creating space between stimulus and response where choice becomes possible. As renowned psychologist Carl Jung famously said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Once you've identified limiting beliefs, the next step is to challenge them with evidence. If you believe "I always fail," make a list of times you've succeeded, no matter how small. If you're convinced "no one appreciates me," recall moments of connection and acknowledgement. This process creates what psychologists call disconfirming evidence that weakens old neural pathways. The key is consistency. Just as your current beliefs were reinforced through repetition over years, new beliefs require regular reinforcement to take root. One powerful technique is visualization. Spend 10 to 15 minutes daily imagining yourself already embodying your desired state. See yourself handling challenges with confidence, interacting with others from a place of self-worth, or making decisions from abundance rather than scarcity. The more vividly you can imagine these scenarios, engaging all your senses and emotions, the more effectively you signal to your subconscious that this is your new reality. Finally, anchor these mental shifts through action. If you're cultivating confidence, start speaking up in situations where you'd normally stay quiet. If you're developing an abundance mindset, practice giving generously within your means. These actions don't need to be dramatic. Small, consistent steps are most effective because they provide proof to your subconscious that change is possible. Each time you act against an old pattern, you weaken its hold while strengthening new neural pathways. Remember that your subconscious learns primarily through repetition and emotion. So the more you can pair these new behaviors with positive feelings, the faster the rewiring occurs. Over time, what began as conscious effort becomes your new automatic response, the hallmark of true subconscious reprogramming. As we've explored throughout this journey, the emerging science of consciousness suggests a universe far more interconnected and responsive than traditional materialism has acknowledged. Quantum entanglement reveals that at fundamental levels, separation may be an illusion, that everything in existence participates in a vast, dynamic web of relationship and information exchange. Your mind, with its astonishing complexity and sensitivity, appears designed to interact with this field in ways we're only beginning to comprehend. The implications are both humbling and empowering. You are not an isolated observer of reality, but an active participant in its continuous creation. This understanding invites a radical shift in how you approach daily life. Challenges become less about random misfortune and more about feedback, opportunities to identify and transform limiting subconscious programs. Relationships transform from chance encounters to meaningful connections that mirror your inner state. Even time itself becomes more fluid, as synchronicities and meaningful coincidences suggest your consciousness may interact with reality in non-linear ways. None of this diminishes the importance of practical action and rational thinking. Rather, it places them within a larger context where inner and outer worlds are recognized as deeply intertwined. The most profound realization is that change doesn't begin out there in the world. It begins within your own consciousness. By taking responsibility for your subconscious programming, you reclaim your creative power to shape experience. This isn't about controlling every aspect of reality, but about aligning yourself with the deeper intelligence that orchestrates the cosmos. When you stop fighting against invisible currents and learn instead to understand and work with them, life becomes less of a struggle and more of a dance, sometimes mysterious, often challenging, but always rich with meaning and possibility. As you move forward from this exploration, carry with you this essential truth. The forbidden link between quantum physics and consciousness isn't forbidden because it's false, but because it's revolutionary. It challenges outdated paradigms and invites us to reimagine what's possible. Your mind is not just a passive observer of reality, but an active co-creator. What will you create with this understanding? The answer to that question may be the most important discovery of all.